Today we pick up the Joseph narrative once again and find that he's now 30 years of age. It is some 13 years since Joseph was sold into slavery, and they have not been easy years. But it was all about to change. Then one night, according to Genesis 41:1, Pharaoh had a dream. And because of that dream, Joseph's circumstances were dramatically transformed. In less than 24 hours, his status has changed from being a dishevelled, unshaven and poorly dressed prisoner in a dungeon to literally becoming the Prime Minister of Egypt. We could say from the prison to the palace. The change happened so quickly and unexpectedly. Now, while God is not spoken about so much in this journey, certainly the hand of God in the background is so very, very evident. Consider the failure of the magicians of Egypt to offer any kind of interpretation for Pharaoh's dreams. Now, we know the story very well, but isn't it interesting that they were unable to explain Pharaoh's dreams? God was in this very clearly. Now, interpreting dreams is what the magicians did in the ancient world. They did it every day, day after day. Yet when they were asked about Pharaoh's dream, silence. They had no answer. So why didn't they just have a go or a guess at this seemingly straightforward dream? I think that the answer is quite clear. God was making a way for Joseph. God was working behind the scenes, as it were. It is though now, right now was the time. Things were about to change, and quickly. You can see it in all the other ways as well. Why is it that the cupbearer who had been in prison with Joseph just happened to be on duty the day that Pharaoh talked about his dream? Had he not been there, Joseph's name would not even have come up. After all, it's not what you know, but who you know that matters. And for Joseph, the key to freedom was that he knew a cupbearer who once had been a prisoner with him. Coincidence? I don't think so. Not at all, in fact. God-incidence. When the cupbearer explained Joseph's ability to interpret dreams, it was no time at all before Joseph was brought from the prison to the palace. Joseph was called to speak to Pharaoh, and again he was able to interpret the dream and its meanings. And the meaning is actually made clear. Again, Joseph told Pharaoh that he couldn't answer it, rather it is God alone who can provide the interpretation. We'll speak more about the dream next time. Have you ever found yourself in circumstances and you wonder, how did I ever get into this place? Indeed, how will I ever get beyond here? Life might seem to be a little tough, and it seems as though there's no possible change in sight. You feel as though you're stuck in a rut. Do you ever get the feeling that there are better days ahead, or that you weren't made for the circumstances that you're in at this moment? Speak to God. He loves you. He loves you, bringing your concerns and needs to him. He is for you. Romans 8:31 says this, "What then shall we say in response to these things? If God is for us, who can be against us?" I find the account of Joseph particularly encouraging, as I can clearly see God at work behind the scenes, preparing the stage, as it were, for what is about to happen. And it is coming at, as someone described, breakneck speed. God answers prayer. If your life is a little rough at the moment, hang on to the account of Joseph. A deeper reading reveals that Joseph was at one with God, and that he gave all the glory to his Lord. Know this, that God has not forgotten you. That is why he gave his only son Jesus, so that you could have life and have it in the full abundance. John 10:10. Have a great